Welcome to the Faith in Action podcast, the home of modern day Christian storytelling, where real people share real stories about our real God. Behind every breakthrough is a believer who chose faith over fear. This season, inspired by the parable of the 5 talents, we're diving into the lives of believers who made a choice to bury their gifts or build with them. In this space, God gets all the glory, Christ gets all the praise, and the Spirit gets our loudest hallelujah. So hit subscribe, tap that notification bell, follow, and engage with us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify. Just search Faith in Action Pod. Let's jump right in with our next guest. So welcome, Dem. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you being here, honestly. Like, you're such a busy person. I see you online on the socials, you know, getting really involved in doing God's work. But I'm going to let you introduce yourself to everyone who's watching today.
Yeah, so my name is Demetrius. I'm the youth leader at Lukewarm Church. I don't really know it's so difficult to introduce yourself, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Demetrius, youth leader.
Yeah. What else do you do outside of church?
Outside of church, I'm an audiovisual engineer.
Okay.
So I work at Imperial College London. That's kind of it. It's kind of difficult to explain what I do, but we basically manage all lecture theatres, meeting spaces, installations, things like that. And yeah, I've got a passion for technology. Background. That's my background: technology, studies computer science. So yeah, that's me really.
Yeah. You're the worst person who makes the meetings happen.
Well, something like that.
What? All the lighting going on, you know, when the mics are going off, you're like, yeah. That's good. That's good. I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks so much again for coming. So this season we're focusing on the 5 talents, the parable of the 5 talents in Matthew 25.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just ask in relation to the characters that are in there, right? You have the one with the 1, the one with the 2, the one with the 5, the one who buried, and the 2 who went and multiplied it.
Yeah.
So I guess from that specific parable, which character resonates most with you?
I'd like to think not the one who's buried. It's difficult. Either one, whichever one went and multiplied. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to use the talents that God has given me. I don't think I've buried, and I don't think, I've just not used my talents. Where I've got 2, whether I've got 5, I don't know. But I've got some, and I'm trying to use them.
Yeah, you're trying to use them.
Yeah.
How did you identify those talents? How did you know, like, okay, this is God's gift for me? Like, talk me through, like, your upbringing in terms of, being in church, maybe, like, how were they nurtured? How were they first identified? And how did you get to actually realize, okay, no, this is my gift that God's calling me into?
So I think when I look back, I think one of the first times where I ever was kind of brought to the realization that maybe I had leadership qualities, sitting upstairs at church, and someone came over to me now. I was with all my friends, my boys, and they came over to me and was like, come here, I need to talk to you. And I was like, what's up? They said, yeah, can you like tell them to stop talking? I said, why me?
Not
like,
you.
Yeah. I was like,
how old are you?
Why do you think these times? Maybe I was about 14.
Wow.
And 14, 15.
Yeah.
And I said, why do you think they'll listen to me?
Yeah.
I said, because you're the leader. And I said, whoa.
Not you, the leader of the pack, Dem.
But that made me feel, it made me feel a bit uncomfortable, to be fair, because I didn't want to be perceived as like, I'm trying to like tell everyone what to do and things like that. But that was really the first time someone ever brought it to my attention that maybe you've got some kind of leadership qualities about you.
Yeah.
And I think after that, there were people who definitely poured into me and nurtured me. Auntie Jennifer, she was the previous youth leader.
Okay.
And she saw something in me.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
And she told me, God is preparing you. There were certain things she's like, God's preparing you to be youth leader. And I was like, nah. And even other people would say things. I went to a youth retreat and someone said the same thing to me. I was like, nah, I'll never be a youth leader. Never, that's not me.
Yeah.
And here
you are today. Oh my goodness, such a young age at 14.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned how the role of the youth leader was able to identify something, but then also that just individual who came up to you and asked you to like, tell everyone to be quiet.
Exactly.
Which I think at times we don't really pay mind to those little cues, like to those little people who do come and say, oh, you're really good at this or you're really good at that. It's actually great for you to be able to reflect back and see that as one of the earliest actual, you know, individuals who've actually identified that leadership skill. So then what was it like in terms of, you know, you said youth is not for me. So how did you end up here? Like, what's that journey been like?
So I think when I went to university, even just before university, I was involved in the AV department at church.
Okay.
Went to uni, stayed involved, and then they had Jam. Jam came to Lewisham, and we were kind of doing that, doing Bible studies in the evening. I wasn't a leader, there was someone else. They had they suffered a loss in their family, so they had to take a step back. Okay. But I was like, no, we can't let this stop. You know, because we were active, and so this was maybe 2018, 2019, 2019, 2020, around that time, just before COVID. Yeah. And so I just started doing things, and then it was about 2022 when, actually no, before that, I would say, all right, let's have a Bible study, for example, organize a Bible study. But then there were times when no one turned up, and it was just me. And then Auntie Jennifer was like, "Nah, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Just keep doing your thing." Yeah. And she said that these little things are preparing you for something. I was like, I don't really get it. People are just not turning up. People said they're coming and that. So I didn't really see the bigger picture. Yeah. 2022, something said to me, we should have a youth retreat. Put on a youth retreat, and I was like, wow, actually this is something I quite enjoyed it, have a passion for it. And I had a dream one day where some people that I went to school with, I don't really talk to them, they were in my dream, and we were all standing on the roadside, and Jesus was coming back. Wow. And I hadn't told them, and it kind of dawned on me, you're not telling people. Mercy. You haven't done anything. Mercy. So I said, well, how can I know this and not tell someone else? Wow. And then I don't know. I think I can't really. I don't think I can really appeal to the elders. Maybe. I don't think that's really your bag. That's not my thing. So from there, I just became really passionate about youth ministry. Wow. Sharing. Just trying to share with other people, trying to encourage other people, give them the word or whatever it is in a way that's palatable to them, where they can understand and appreciate it, and try and get them involved as well. No, that dream that you mentioned, like, it just took me back to dreams I've had where it's like, it's so convicting, and God's actually telling you, like, the dream is so clear you can't even ignore it. That's wild that you're in a dream with your friends, and your friends don't know that Jesus is coming, and he's now coming, and you're just like, that's actually so powerful. That's really powerful. I guess on your journey, have you ever, so where does the confidence come from? Because you've mentioned, you know, you're number 2 and you're not guy with number 2, guy with number 5, right? Have you ever experienced any sort of, low confidence when it comes to standing in what God has called you to do? Or has that sort of have you always been confident growing up? I think I've always been fairly confident growing up.
Okay, that's good.
I think I've always been fairly confident, but that doesn't mean that work doesn't have to be put in, you know. So there might not really times where I felt not confident to do something, or a bit, I have definitely felt reluctant or apprehensive, thinking, is this really what God wants me to do? Things like that. More so just making sure that I get some certainty from God to make sure that this is exactly what he wants me to do. But I can't really say, I'd be lying if I said there's been times where I felt not actually preaching. That's the one thing where I haven't been confident. I wasn't sure if that was my gift. And I would tell people, you will never hear me preach. But it was so weird. God is funny, you know. So on my phone, I was walking one day, I was listening to a sermon. Someone recommended a sermon. I started taking notes. I'm saying, they're saying one thing, but I think you could talk about this as well. So then I started making some little notes. Then I was somewhere else, and then I was walking with my colleagues, and there was a line in the middle. One of them was on either side of the line, and I was walking down the middle, and I said, am I lukewarm? Am I 1 foot in, 1 foot out? And then so I wrote that. Honestly, like, that's just how things started to come to me.
Yeah.
So I'm writing it down. I've got a folder with like sermon titles and ideas. But I'm like,
Wow.
I'm not going to preach. That's not me.
Yeah.
Went on the youth leadership training conference that the SEC put on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Chingy. She sat me down. I was talking to some others, and she came and we were talking, and she prayed. After she shared what she was sharing, she prayed. And the day after we left, I got a message saying, "Can you preach?" I said, God, come on. You didn't even let it marinate for you.
You
know what I mean?
give me a minute till I wrap my head around it. Oh my gosh.
So yeah. But that's when, even then, fair enough, I wasn't confident in it at first. When I saw that, when you see that God is calling you to do something, it kind of gives you the confidence, because if God has brought you to it, you hear it all the time, if God's brought you to it, he'll bring you through it.
Yeah.
And even though I might not be qualified, God doesn't call the qualified.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And when you see examples in the Bible of that, so that's kind of why I can be as confident as I am, because it's not about me. Nothing I do is about me. It's not in my own strength that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I love that. You know, Chingy's one person. She's going to come on the pod.
Yeah.
She's going to come. Her and Ashley. But yeah, she's spoken to you about her journey as well, like going into the preaching and stuff. And I completely hear it when God is calling you into something that takes you out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
Because then now you have to rely on his strength,
Yeah.
because you're actually weak in it, because you
Exactly.
don't know what you're doing as well.
Exactly.
You're like, oh my gosh, am I gonna use the right language, the right words? Is it gonna resonate? So yeah, that's crazy that the day after God was like, I'm not even waiting for this prayer that was prayed, this message. I'm not waiting for it to dwindle down while it is there,
While
like
it's
in
fresh.
your mind. I'm gonna give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's so sick. So now do you preach? Is it one of the skills, and the gifts now?
If you ask, I don't know. I always find it so difficult to answer that. People have said to me that the words that I've spoken have touched them, it's helped them, it's encouraged them. So that's good.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a preacher.
Yeah.
Our youth day just the other day was the 4th time I've ever stood on the pulpit and delivered a word. So I wouldn't call myself a preacher.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm still in denial. And I'm like, God, I don't know if this is for me. Are you sure? But I'm trying to like live in my purpose.
Yeah.
And I've said, you know what? So many people have said certain things to me.
Yeah.
I need to start stepping in my purpose. And so, yeah.
You do preach on occasion.
Occasionally.
Yeah, on occasion.
Occasionally,
Okay.
yeah.
So what would you say like the process is when you are stepping into a space where you are not comfortable? What is your thought process like? Because I think a lot of people, they might have people saying, oh, you're good at this, and giving opportunities, but then they're letting fear or whatever it might be, right? Lack of confidence, step into it. What's your thought process, and how do you actually find yourself on a pulpit when you actually don't want to be there?
One of the things, I don't know where it comes from, but I would say if someone can do it, I can do it, because God has given us all abilities. But I kind of just have to understand why it is that I'm being asked to do this. So if someone says that they think I can do something, I just try to look at it through their eyes. What is it that they see? Put yourself in their position. Have I done something that they see? Oh, actually, you might be able to do that. Also, a saying that my dad used to tell me when I was younger: if someone calls you a horse once, you can just ignore it. Maybe they don't know what they're talking about. Twice, maybe those two people know each other. 3 times, it's time to buy a saddle. And so when you hear things enough, you kind of just have to accept it. You kind of just have to accept, you know what? Whether I want to do it or not, I got to do it. Do you know what I mean? It's going to happen, kind of thing. So yeah, I kind of don't. I try to not dwell on the negative side of things, because otherwise you'll never do anything in life. I try to just push past that and just get on with it. You spend less time thinking about it and more time doing.
Doing it. No, that's really beautiful. Definitely, like the 3 times. I love that your dad said that, because when I was reading the Bible, like the story of Gideon, like when he's like, no, God, like put the dew on the grass and not on the tent, and that's how I pray to God. Like, because when sometimes God will ask me to do things, I'm like, not today, Father, not today. And I'm like, no, bring it to me another way. Like, no, make it someone I don't even know. Like, make this be some randomer, like some random And then I have people at work saying stuff to me, and I'm like, Jesus, like really, like you really got a sense of humor. So I like like that, you have to like pay mind to like the cues. But also something I'm big on is taking that to God in prayer, because one thing I've realized is like the enemy, right? The devil, like he only learns by the words that we say and the actions that we do. So there's times where like I'm seeking God's confirmation or something, or I'm seeing something, or something is like being pricked in my mind, and I have to go in secretly and not utter it. And I'll be like, okay, Lord, now I'm having that conversation like Gideon did, but I'm having it with him in silence in prayer. I'm like, nah, Lord, that you need to bring someone completely different. And then when it comes again, I'm like, and I'm like, make sure I don't like say it or share it, because I want to make sure I'm hearing God's voice as well. Making sure it's his voice and no one else's voice that's calling me to do something. So you mentioned like, always having confidence. Where does that stem from? Is that your upbringing? Is that like the home you grew up in? Is it being involved in church at a young age? What would you say contributed to your confidence?
Probably a bit of both. I think definitely my upbringing. My parents always poured into me and my brother. There was nothing that they kind of made us feel like we couldn't do. Homework, you can do it, it's just about finding a way that works for you, because not everyone learns the same way, things like that.
Okay, so they were adaptable, and oh wow, that's really nice.
So it wasn't just whatever. Try to be flexible. If you don't understand really it like beautiful. This, how can you? And I think just from school as well, just the school that I went to as well, the teachers always trying to help you and push you to be the best. And then what else? I think you said church as well. Yes, church. I think being involved in church from a young age. So I remember way back, people writing plays, and now you're acting and doing a play in front of the whole congregation. That kind of exposure to it really helps build your skills. It really helps build your confidence, and being put in those kind of positions, and then just doing things like that throughout the rest of your life. So growing up, I remember when I was in primary school doing another play at a summer school, for example, or doing like Jack Petchy speak out challenges and things like that, and just trying to find ways in which you can build that confidence. And just trying not to shy away from things. I think it's so important. Something like I wasn't raised in the Seventh-day Adventist church, so I was raised Catholic, and when I see like all of the Sabbath school for kids, because when I came to the SDA church, before I got baptized, I was teaching Sabbath school for children. Wonderful. And that's how I began to learn about stories in the Bible I had never heard of. Because in the Catholic church, they like kind of preach the same messages every Sunday type of thing. So I was learning about so many different like examples and characters and stories and messages through the eyes of the children as well, because you have to make it so fun. And I loved it when 13 Sabbath would come along and then you'd like see the little bobbers, they're like up there, like they're like, I remember there was this one little child, she's now grown up, but she was like I think 3, and she could like recite a whole verse. I was like, you look like you shouldn't even be able to walk, but you're reciting a whole verse. And like she's so confident, and seeing them grow. And I think that's something that we as Christians who do have the luxury of being in a church space, we're not utilizing that a lot. And like it's something that I'm seeing with like even the generation, like Gen Zs and stuff like that, Gen Alphas, like it's utilizing the spaces that you have where there is an element of safety, where you can try different things out and try and figure out, is this for me, is this not for me, do you know what I mean? So I think that's an environment that I think is quite good. And also building communities, that's something I've 100%. Realized about people in the Seventh-day Adventist church, like because they've all grown up, did Pathfinders and all of these things, like they have friends from a young age, whereas I think like that's just beautiful. I really think that's beautiful. I think Pathfinder is a big one as well. Pathfinder's a big one.
Were you part of it?
Yeah.
Which instrument did you play?
Do you know what I'm saying? I was actually part of the drum corps at one point. Okay. Junior drum corps, but then it didn't progress past that. It just wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah,
really
that's not for me. It's not for me. It's not for me.
Drums
So, Deb, have you had any experience? Okay, where how can I say this? Where you faced any opposition to what it is that you wanted to do, like as you're walking in your purpose? Has there been any situation where you're like, okay, God's called me to do youth? Yes, your youth, leader like was very supportive. Has there been any time where you've tried to suggest something or tried to do a program where, some individuals have been like, no, I don't think, this is, and try to deter you? And how have you navigated that?
A few different examples come to mind. So there's one, for example, I might have been out of the country when this happened. But some young people approached me and said that they want to do a program. They don't go to Lewisham Church. So I said, yeah, cool. Do you know what I mean? We went through the program.
Yeah.
And then I got a message saying that the way someone was delivering their musical piece was not appropriate. And
wow.
yeah, like quite a few people came up to me and was like, yeah, they had a real problem with it. It's not right for the sanctuary and whatnot. Maybe it was a little bit too upbeat. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is Lewisham conservative like that?
Fairly conservative.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I think if you play the drums too loud, you might get looked at a bit left.
Wow.
And that's that. And that's okay. That's okay. If, you know, different people, different opinions and stuff. I know that, and I think as well. Just I don't want to speak disparagingly of this because they're not all churches like that. But sometimes there's a lot of red tape, and so I know there's been times that I want to do something. Like for example, we have something which was called Lemonade and Praise, or Chocolatey Praise if it's summer or winter. Now we've just called it Next Gen Cafe. Makes it a bit simpler. Where we're just out there giving drinks to people in the community. Yeah. And I was like, people drink tea and coffee. Yeah. That's what people drink in our community. Yeah. But they're like, nah, we just gotta have hot chocolate and mint tea and lemon and ginger. It's like, yeah, but the people in our community don't drink that. Do you know what I mean? And so like there was a lot of pushback on that, like, oh, the caffeine, but we're doing hot chocolate. Yeah. I did the research and it's like, well, this hot chocolate has got more caffeine in it than, do you know what I mean? So little things like that where you're trying to do programs and people don't see the vision. Or for example, like we did a poetry night, we didn't do it at church. I was like, why are we doing it at church? Let's do it somewhere in the community. People a bit like and ahhing, but we did it and it was a success, you know. God be praised. Like people now know about us because of it. So yeah.
How do you navigate that when there is opposition? Like, do you you're giggling? Do you literally just say like, I'm doing what God's called me to do? Like, goodbye.
I don't. Not to say I don't care. Yeah. But if I think I should do something, I'm gonna find a way. But that being said, I have to try and pick my battles wisely. Yeah. There's sometimes it's not worth it. Yeah. This is such a small thing. I'll let it go. This can pass. Yeah. Because I know that maybe in the next couple of months, we're planning something and we're gonna, do you know what I mean? There's gonna be some pushback. So I kind of, if God tells me to do something, who is anyone to get in my way? But it's about making sure that God is actually telling you to do that.
Yeah, and not your ego or your pride.
Exactly. Because that can be destructive. Do you know what I mean? It can have a negative impact. Yeah.
Definitely. I think picking your battles is something that we all need to learn about. I remember for me, like, I had to learn that when I was serving in church. I had to learn it very, very, very quickly. Yeah. Knowing what to respond to, what not to respond to, and but the thing is, it's so difficult. It's so difficult, especially like when you're putting your heart into something and you're literally giving like 110%, and the week has like mashed you up with work, like you're tired, and you're literally coming and you're giving the last bottom of flour and oil, do you know what I mean? And it's like, and then people have something smart to say. And it's like, it's so I could be like, quick, like what? Yeah. Like I could then now become this, I can be very snappy and I could, and I'm like, no, but I'm a church, I shouldn't be. But I'm like, but who are you?
Exactly.
Do you not see me trying? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's no even like, hey, how's your week been? No, it's straight in with the, why isn't this? Why isn't this? Yeah, and it's just like, so sometimes I think that picking your battle is so difficult to do.
It's very difficult.
So difficult. I'm glad I've got someone at church. There's a couple that I can speak to. They've been in the church literally forever, right? They're like in their 60s. Yeah. So like I can speak to them and I can feed back and get some advice and wisdom from them. Because there's times like I'm new in the church. I've only been baptized like just under 3 years, Wow. Like I'm still trying to figure it out. Exactly. I'm still trying to like understand the politics of it all because there's a lot of the politics is a whole nother thing. Like I was like, I'm getting baptized into a church. Thank you, Jesus. We're going to do the work. The amount of politics that's in it, like it's something that's very new to me. And I think there'll be a lot of people who want to do stuff at church, but then the politics of it all, like, trying to know how to navigate the criticism that comes from people at church when you're actually trying to do your best, it can really deter you. Really impact.
It can. You hear stories all the time of people wanting to take part. You know, someone's nails are too long. I remember.
Not the nails.
I'm telling you.
Not the nails.
I'm telling you. I remember one time I was I don't remember how old I was.
Yeah.
But I went up to I was putting down to maybe scripture reading or something.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I wasn't wearing a tie. This week I said, I'm not wearing a tie. So I didn't wear a tie.
Yeah.
Got to church, went into the back, and, you know, it was with pastor, and we said, yeah, you got to wear a tie.
What?
I said, I don't have a tie. He had one ugly tie hanging up there.
No.
Ugly tie. Didn't match, different colours. It was, and he said,
gosh.
you got to wear this tie. And so I had to put on a tie. But so I put it on because I didn't want to be difficult. And I guess when you're that young as well, it's like, well, if I'm rude, do you know what I mean? It's just going to cause problems. So went up, put the tie on, did what I did. As soon as I sat down and took it off, I was like, I can't do this, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's honestly, it's not easy. There's a lot of like you said, politics really is. That's what it is, yeah. And a lot of opinions. It's not all based on anything
biblical
exactly.
as well.
It's a culture or
I want to do like a couple of series episodes on like the difference between culture, tradition and actual like what is in the Bible and biblical practice, because I think we let a lot of times our culture and the tradition of our culture infiltrate in the church
100%.
And that can stop people from coming as they are and doing God's work.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So like it's just, for me, that's something that I do struggle with, but not the nails and not the tie.
I'm telling you.
I got told once to cover my shoulders. I was wearing like a vest, a top. It was in the summer. It was hot. I'm sorry. I wasn't even baptized at this point. Someone asked me to do that at the welcome or something. I came to church in like a nice pencil skirt, like, you know, a vest top. It was mad hot.
Yeah.
Before I went up there, a woman was like, you have to cover your shoulders. I was like, for what reason? Oh, you can't go up there like with your shoulders on show. And that was the first time I'd ever been told that. And I was like, okay, can you tell me where does that stem from and stuff? But I never ever got an explanation as to why you should cover your shoulders. And then to the point even where another older lady was like, oh, you should cover your hair. I was like, no, what now? I should wear a hat.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what? But then that's a practice from like back in the Caribbean. Do you know what I mean? I don't know which country. I think, was she from Jamaica? I don't know where she was from, but she was from the Caribbean. And it's something they get accustomed to from a culture tradition, but it's not necessarily biblical. And I think, there's a lot of things that gets misconstrued.
100%. I was going to say, like if you go to somewhere in Europe in church, they're wearing slippers, sandals, shorts. Exactly. And I couldn't even imagine going to church in shorts. I don't know, even it just doesn't seem right, and I feel like someone would have something to say. I remember going to church and I didn't think my trousers were tight because I don't wear, that's uncomfortable. Elder come up to me, oh, your trousers, they're a bit, he was wearing some baggy trousers, like no, but they were baggy, and I'm like, that's not my style, do you know what I mean? My trousers are tailored, do you know what I mean?
Not my man telling you to wear some baggy trousers. Why is he looking at your legs for? Sorry.
Well, anyways,
let's not even go there, because how did you notice
exactly
that? Was his wife maybe looking? I don't know. You don't know.
Let's not even.
We don't know. I've had a woman like it was on not Instagram, on Zoom when we were doing online church during COVID. I was a host for the churches where I live, and I remember like my profile photo was I was wearing like a sleeveless top. Again, it was taken in the summer. But I'd cropped it so literally like you can only see like from here my neck up. That was what was on screen on Zoom. The woman messaged me and said, your photo is revealing. I was like,
what's it revealing?
How is it revealing? It shows that you're not wearing any top. I was like, but I am wearing a top. And I was thinking to myself like, how did you find my icon? And that day I wasn't even speaking, which is why my actual picture was showing, because my video wasn't on. I was like, how did you go and find me?
Yeah.
Like, and then have the audacity to message me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're like 150 people on Zoom.
Yeah.
You ain't got to look at my picture. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
I've had a couple of people who've tried to be cheeky. Even the conversation of like, we've had conversations about makeup and stuff like that in church.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I know God for myself, which is why it's so important to like have a relationship with God for yourself.
100%.
Because you can have these discussions with people who have differing opinions, and they're like, oh, women shouldn't wear makeup, you shouldn't wear jewelry, like all of these things, and I'm like, yeah, but you don't even know my walk with God. At the end of the day, salvation is through Christ and Christ alone, not for you. I'm sorry, 100%. Brother and sister, you ain't giving 100%. Me salvation. So I think like we have to be really careful of the way we speak to people. That's and I could see where some opinions is coming from a good place. I had an individual, a lady, tell me as well, I had a photo, I'd gone to a wedding or something, and I put my photo up on WhatsApp, and she messaged me saying, oh, your photo is misleading, it's not a reflection of the Narima I know. I was like, sorry, what Narima do you know? I'm so confused. And then I spoke to, the people in church that I have a relationship with. And I was told, like, that woman had been through something, and she had been sexually, like, do you know what I mean? Like, abused. So, like, her advice is coming from a good place, right? And the minute I knew that, I was like, wow, because before I was mad defensive. I was like, sorry, do you think you are coming? Delete my number. In fact, let me delete your number, then you don't see my profile picture. But then once I understood where she's coming from and the context, I was like, okay, you're actually saying it with care. So I would definitely say, like, for anyone who like gets any type of pushback or any of these opinions, sometimes, even though it can be very frustrating as the receiver, maybe sometimes just trying to understand where's that person coming from, because there could be a story behind which you could gain a lot of wisdom from if 100%. They were open to sharing. And I'd also encourage people to share if the advice they're giving is coming from a personal experience. Leading with your testimony is going to go down better than saying don't do this, don't do that, better. But why are you telling me not to do that?
No explanation, no context.
And I think
that's what we need more vulnerability. Because if she had come to you and said, hey, look, I experienced this, and maybe it's not something you just want to like drop on someone, but even just giving a little insight into why you're, I think the way we deliver is, I think most of the time when I hear people upset about something someone said, it's not about what they've said necessarily, but maybe how they've delivered it. You didn't even ask me how my week was. You didn't even ask anything about me. You don't even really know me. But you want to tell me that my trousers are too tight, or or like my whatever. Definitely about the delivery. For sure.
So with what we've discussed, if you had to think about advice you would give someone who is, I'm going to specifically pick on the example or the experience you had where you were trying to deliver things and do things for the community, because I think that's what we're meant to do as a church. We're not meant to be preaching to each other. 100%. We're meant to go into the community. What advice would you give someone who something's been put on their heart by God to go and deliver a ministry in the community, but they need the support of church, you know what I mean? They need support of the community around them. But there is that challenge of, oh no, but you're going in there. What advice would you give to someone to actually push through and stand on God's business? But also, working with the church and trying to get their support to help them deliver it.
Something that I do, and it's not calculated, so but you need to build relationships with people, because if you're putting something toward, like if you're putting a proposal to someone, and you don't know how they're going to take it, it's a bit more difficult. But just when you start to build relationships with people, when decisions need to be made, people know where you're coming from, and they tend to have your back a bit more. So I'm not just saying go and like beg friends and just to try and get your point across, but definitely have relationships with people, and when you do your plan, when you're planning something, if you want to do something, you really need to have a solid plan. I wouldn't put my name on anything that if someone brings to me isn't solid, ironclad, because I don't want my name to be tarnished, and I think that tends to be where people in the church come from. They don't want a bad reputation and things like that. So a good plan, build relationships with people, and also, like you said, when you're doing the Lord's work, you need to do it unapologetically. I think we need to be so unapologetic in God's work. It doesn't even matter what people say. Like, and I'm not telling anyone to do this, but if you want to do something at church and they say no, but you know God has called you to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Because or find a way around it.
Yeah.
But then that being said as well, sometimes try and see where they're coming from, because sometimes there is wisdom in what other people are saying, especially the older members. They do have wisdom, and so we need to try and pick through what they're saying to get to what really matters.
Yeah. I love that you said build relationships, because when I think about the person with the 2 and the person with the 5, they would have gone away and would have built relationships to be able to multiply it.
100%.
So I think that's such a key point. But then also, like you mentioned, seeking wisdom from the elders. I think we can be limited in our own understanding as well. So sometimes finding some individuals that you can go and maybe, even as you're building a plan, right? Is there anyone who's older in older generation church that you can maybe speak to as you're building your plan to get the input, right? To be able to, because iron sharpens iron, right? So just to feedback off them, and you don't want to steer too much away from what God has called you to do, but seeking their advice before you officially present the plan as well. I think that actually could work quite well. That's kind of like in the business world, right? Before you like put anything together, a project, you need to speak to a couple of leaders, get their back in, make sure that what you're presenting they're for, so that when you're actually presenting it and they're in the room, they've got your back as well.
Exactly. Do your market research. And have a what do they call it, a focus group. So if you want to know how someone's going to perceive something, speak to people in that demographic. If you're doing something in the community, community services leader, ask them what are their experiences, what do the people need. Try and really do your research and understand, because in that way it's not just you don't just want to do this because you want to do it and you're being difficult and you want to go against what people are saying. This is because I'm trying to meet the needs of the people. So
no, that's definitely big. So in terms of Bible verses, what would you say? And you can pick either a verse that has sort of carried you through and maybe like given you or continue to give you confidence in stepping in God's purpose, or it could be a verse that right now is so impactful for you in the journey ahead. What verse would you share?
I think the first one that came to me was Isaiah, I want to say chapter 40, but it's about like running and not growing weary. Because sometimes I'm tired. But like we said before, it's not about our own strength. It's about having strength our strength is found in God, in Christ. So that's kind of what helps me. When I feel low, when I feel low energy, I don't really want to do something. It's like, you know what, God, I need to tap into you. I need to tap into your source, your power, so that I can continue. So that's the verse that kind of taken me through. And that would be the verse that I would give to someone to encourage them when you don't feel like doing something. God will bring you through it. I
actually want to now just dive a little bit deeper, if that's okay.
Of course.
You seem so like calm and so like collected and so like anchored. I want to just ask you, how do you maintain this dem that I'm seeing, right? I'm sorry, but can you bottle it up so that we can buy it? Because you seem so like just chilled and like anchored and like, rooted. What's your walk like in terms of, always going back to God, and what do you do to try and keep yourself anchored in this position?
Do you know, it's not easy. It's not easy. I'd be lying if I said it's easy. But I think when you've had certain experiences and you know what's what, you just have to do what you got to do because you know that's what you got to do. That's the right thing to do. And so I think, like I said, it's not easy, and sometimes we do slip and fall. And I think a righteous man will fall 7 times, but he's going to get back up. And that's not, and then I kind of took that and I was like, okay, if I fall, it's okay. No, that's not what the text is saying. But it's simply saying that on your journey, you might fall. On your journey, you might make a mistake. On your journey, you might not get things right. But at some point, you need to get back up and not fall again. And so I'm now just trying to walk and not fall. I don't want to be falling over anymore. I want to be that righteous man who's gotten up and he's walking in his purpose. And but I think like when I was at university, I said it before, I was outside, man. I was outside.
We all been outside, 10
I was
toes
outside.
deep.
You know what I mean?
Outside.
I was outside.
Yeah.
But then I think you just have certain experiences. Like, I remember, for example, going out. Next day felt really rough and just bad. And I was like, God, I don't want to do this anymore, man. Like, help me. Like, I did it again. I was like, nah, this is like, I can't do this thing anymore. It's not good for me. Do you know what I mean? And then, one day I just had a bad experience with like going out and alcohol, whatever. And I said, I ain't never doing that again.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we don't have to, but sometimes God allows us to go through things to really bring us back. I've told this story before when I was at university. Long story short, I ended up in hospital.
Okay.
And it was my own fault. It was all my fault. And I was there and I said, God, just forgive me of my sins. If it's my time, it's my time. And then, but God brought me through it. And I said, nah, there's no way God can bring me through something like that where you literally, I thought death was literally right there. And I'm just gonna, do you know what I mean? And like I said, not to say that now I'm living a perfect life, because I'm not. That's what we're striving for. But that's what kind of pushes me when you look at where you're coming from. And even looking at someone said something to me like how they've seen me transform for the better, for the good. It's like, well, I need to keep on whatever I've been doing, and it's not me, it's God. That's what's been in my life, and that's what's been making me transform for the better. I just need to keep doing that. So yeah, that's kind of what allows me to be the way I am.
Yeah, I think self-awareness is something from what you've literally just said that I'm really picking up is you're able to recognize, oh, this is not for me. Because a lot of times, like we get tempted to do stuff like, and then we suffer the consequences of it. And it's not God who's put us there, but God gets us out of the mess that we create. Like we sit here, we're like, God, now I'm going out, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm stepping out on my own. You find yourself between a rock and a hard place, and then you're calling on God, and God's like, but did I put you there? How did you get there? You know? And then he's always merciful to come and take us out. And I think the self-awareness of knowing, okay, I got myself into this position, and like a sinful, wretch as I, but Lord, you still pull me out, and you still bless me, you still provide for me. There's some people who are not able to grasp, his mercy and his love and his forgiveness and his grace, most importantly. But I think that self-awareness is something that's so important. And even something you even mentioned earlier on in our conversation, when you're walking on the line and you have your colleagues on either side and a thought comes to you like, are you lukewarm? It shows there is a continuing relationship and dialogue with God, which can help on that journey, because we're all going to stumble, we're all going to fall. But like you said, we don't want to stay down. You don't want to stay down and wallow in that mess, right? You want to get back up and walk. And the only way you're going to recognize you've fallen is if you're in your word, if you're connected with God, for the conviction to be like, hold on. Am I lukewarm in this? How did I get myself in here? Rather than saying, oh, this is how everything is all the time, Because then you can find yourself down there for like so long that you don't even know how to get back up again.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think in order to do that, we have to stay in the word. Yeah. Regular. And I know for me, it's not the easiest thing, like I said again, because sometimes you want to do other things, you get busy, but actually that's what really matters. It's not about what we do. It's not about the surface level stuff. It's about, and what we do in public is about what we do in private. Yeah. Spending time speaking to God, reading his word. Because I feel like when we read the word, it does something to us. Like I remember seeing a study, like when you read the Bible, it literally altered the chemicals in someone's brain or something like that. Wow. Yeah, it had a tangible change and impact. So I think spending time in the word is key as well, which I need to do more of. I don't read the Bible enough, but yeah. I
think that's something that we all struggle with. I like listening. I'm more of a listener. So like if I'm watching a sermon, like I love sermons, and then I can read the word that way, or I do like Bible plans. Like I kind of need some type of guidance. One thing I love is also, you mentioned earlier on, is like when you were the whole preaching aspect, where there's someone preaching a particular message and you're like, hold on, but wait, there's another message. And there's a couple of pastors in the US that I watch, and that's something that has transformed the way I look at the word. Is it's not just face value, the main character that is always spoken about. When you actually begin to deep dive into, but hold on, who was this person who just had a couple of words?
Exactly.
Why did they have a couple of words in this person's story, right? What's the meaning behind that? Like, you can get so much depth from just one story. And that's something I'm learning more and more. And it's helping me read the Bible. Because, you know, sometimes like, and it's even crazy because I have conversations with my dad where I'm like, oh, you know, like the story of like, you know, XXX, like, did you ever realize this character? And he's like, what? And it's like so exciting for me because I've been able to take a story that has been said over and over and over again. Everyone focuses on the main character, but the minute you focus on the ones in the background, the helpers, this, that, you just begin to see like so much more color. Different perspectives. And then when you're, depending on where you are in life, you could literally be relating to different aspects of that story,
100%,
not the main one,
100%,
which is something that I love. But it's something that I think we need to just continue to stay in on. I don't know about you, but I've been looking at my social media. You know, the app on your phone that tracks like your social media usage. Damn, listen, all I will say is the Lord is not proud, but I get back up, okay? I spend so much time on social media, and even trying to like put those blocks like work time so that all the apps get blocked off. You know, sometimes I just go to work settings, unblock. It's something that's quite hard.
It is. It's not easy.
It's very difficult. And even like now I just find myself scrolling on stuff. The amount of times I'll be like, yo, like I've literally just been flicking up
for like 20 minutes.
I could have legit read a whole portion of like the Bible. Do you know what I mean? I could have like, that's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That's like a little message on YouTube as well. Do you know what I mean? So I'm being convicted of it, and it's trying to go against that. That fleshly desire and need.
Exactly.
What am I getting from social media, please?
Nothing really. Nothing.
What am I getting?
Nothing.
There's no salvation there.
Nothing. Definitely not. Definitely
so
not.
It's crazy. But okay, in closing,
do
you want to share, you know, where can people find you for starters on social media and any projects you're working on?
Me, you can find me on Instagram, d.squared2_. But Lucium Next Gen, Lucium_Next Gen, NXTGEN. Projects. So we are going to Tanzania to do a mission trip in September the 14th to the 28th.
Okay.
We're going to go to some schools, orphanages, hopefully do like some health checks, prisons, and hopefully like some kind of community cleanup or something with the church. So yeah, we got that coming up. And also something quite exciting, we're in the process of developing a clothing line.
Okay.
So this has been in the works from last year this time. But we've kind of picked things up a bit more. We've got some designs, run them past the team, run them past a few like people, you know, to get their opinions. And now it's just about getting, you know, finishing things up. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think those are the two main things that we got going on at the moment. I saw the trip, you know. I'm Kenyan born, so when I saw Tanzania, I was like, oh, I can go and speak my Swahili, my brothers and sisters. It's just the dates for me. I'm away in July, so I'm trying to think of whether I could even take more time, because I think I'm taking 3 weeks off in July. What I've said to people, because someone said to me, they're not sure if they can come for 2 weeks because of when they might start work and stuff like that. I said, oh look, even if you can't do 2 weeks, I know Tanzania is a long way to go for like 5 days, but if people can, or if people can't, like someone said to me, they can't make it anymore, but they still want to donate to like, because we're going to hopefully take clothes and things like that for the children.
Okay, good, yeah.
Food, like different learning materials, different things. And we'll buy things over there as well so that we can like if it's local, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's good that there's still opportunities to contribute as well. Yeah, definitely. No, that's really, really good. Mission trip is on my list. I've never done one. It was, last year I said I was going to do one this year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to figure it.
Take it to the Lord.
We'll see. I'm going to Lord, like, how am I going to have, so many, because that's 5 weeks already.
Yeah.
I think I get like 6-7 weeks of holiday. So we'll see. But that's amazing. I would love that. The clothing line, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
That's going to be sick.
When we finish, I'll show you.
Yes. But no, thank you so much for coming, honestly. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you sharing, being vulnerable. You gave a great advice for people. And I think, just how you're remaining grounded and rooted. Like, I think that's just beautiful to see. So thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to hit subscribe, tap that notification bell, follow and engage with us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and Spotify. Just search Faith in Action Pod. See you on the next episode.